Eastern PA Weather Authority Meteorologist Bobby Martrich here with your outlook for September 2nd, 2016. Starting off with Hurricane Hermine, this is a look from when the video was done last night and about to make landfall. It is now over southeastern Georgia. At the time this video was recorded, it was a little bit earlier. There's an old image here, but you can see the hurricane making landfall somewhere near Apalachicola. It's difficult to say. And then they're expecting that by the time we get to this morning, this should be what we're looking at early in the morning on Friday. So this system will move across southeastern Georgia after landfall. Is expected to move across South Carolina, then eastern North Carolina before coming out to a position out in this general direction. And that's going to take its time doing that. As far as our weather today, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, pleasant conditions. We're going to have the high pressure that's situated up to our north here. This is all one big high pressure that's going to be situating itself down over our area, descending. So we're going to have very pleasant conditions today. This is a trough that's in the northeast. This trough axis is going to be situated like this, however, across the northeast as that cold front pushed through. That is actually going to interact with this, with the 250 millibar jet will interact with this as it's coming up the coast here and actually keep it pretty intact as it comes up the coast. So we're going to have a nice day today, mostly sunny, low humidity, pleasant. Enjoy it, because then tonight we're partly cloudy. Tomorrow, as we get into your day on Saturday, starts off with a mix of clouds and sun. Maybe not for southeastern areas, but some areas further northwest might have some sun in the morning. And then we're going to have some increasing clouds in the afternoon and evening. Now, we do expect this system to make its way into our area as early as Saturday night. And I'll show you, this is looking at Friday night. Actually, Saturday afternoon, it could start already down here in the far southern areas. We'll get into that now. We'll get to the next frame here. This is 6 hours later. Right here. Here's a look at early Saturday morning. And you can see the system is still off to the south, just exiting the North Carolina coast at this point. And then we get to the next frame. The system is starting to come offshore. So it doesn't look like it's going to be doing much, but look what's happening. At the same time, this high pressure is building over top of the system. This is one big, broad high pressure, and it's starting to build down this way, in this direction. So by being in that position, the hurricane is then halted. Now, this is not going to be a hurricane anymore. There's going to be a post-tropical cyclone at this point. After somewhere over North Carolina is going to make that transition most likely. So basically this becomes a nor'easter on steroids, basically. So the intensity is still there, but this high pressure will build over the top and eventually move out here east of it. So it's going to push everything back in toward the coast. So this is going to come up and run into that block essentially, and then won't be able to go any further. You can see that in the next couple frames here. Look at the high starting to build into the northeast of it. This is going to be forcing it inward. It's also going to be increasing the wind speeds with this. There's going to be a fetch of moisture streaming in, and also the high winds are going to be channeled in here through this, because you have high pressure winds coming in like this, and you have the low pressure winds rotating in a counterclockwise manner. So all this fetch coming off the ocean will produce some really good winds along the coast. Wind gusts that could be up to 60 miles per hour right along the immediate coastline from Sandy Hook all the way down to Ocean City, Maryland, and actually beyond that. But further inland is going to die off pretty dramatically, but you're still going to be pretty breezy, pretty far in the interior. Now, you don't see any precipitation here. This is looking at Saturday night. Just along the immediate shore points we're talking for Saturday night. Then we get into early Sunday morning. Still, immediate shore points. Look what's happening. This thing's going to start retrograding because this high pressure is establishing itself at that point and starts moving to the northwest a little bit. See all the precipitation bands coming in with it, coming in further to the northwest. Now, this is the latest 18Z run, not the earlier run that brought it much more further west. So we're really concerned about the shore points here as far as precipitation goes, but as we get into later Sunday, you can see that rain starts coming further west. It's uncertain whether or not it gets into it gets up from the Lehigh Valley and points northwest up into the Poconos. It's still uncertain if we get that far inland with these impacts, but it does show at least some light rain getting up into that area. But the primary impacts will be felt right along the coast, and I think that's where the worst conditions are going to be. And then we get into early Monday. We have some mess to deal with early on in the day, but as the day wears on, it starts to improve as it starts pulling away. So I do think later on Labor Day Monday you get improving conditions, and for the interior, most of the day it'll start off mostly cloudy here, but you get some breaks of sun in the afternoon here on Labor Day Monday. But it's still going to be breezy with this system pretty strong still over in the vicinity. And then after this point, we expect temperatures to go up as this thing exits. We're going to have this thing go off to the east, and when that does so, we get to Tuesday, temperatures are going to increase. You got another ridge building in here. It's hard to see on this image, but you got another ridge building here starting to come into the area from the southwest, and that's going to increase temperatures as this thing kicks out. And by the time we get to Wednesday, here's a look at Wednesday. Wednesday, the system's away, but you got a ridge sitting over the area. You got temperatures in the 90s, or challenging the 90-degree mark for many of our central and southern locations again. So nice and hot as you get to the middle of the week. Until we get there, we're going to have some issues this weekend to deal with. Make sure you follow the Facebook page, Twitter, and also the weather alerts page for any of the latest updates that we have over the next couple days and through the weekend. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for September 2nd, 2016. Have a great Friday.